Hello, Homestead. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stay standing for a moment of silence.
From Homestead Media, this is HHS In Depth.
Today is Thursday, March 28th, and welcome to HHS In Depth. Let's begin with a quick overview of today's show. To start us off, reporter Ryan Weidler brings us a report from Indiana's largest planetarium at Ball State, where they are preparing for the solar eclipse. Then Graham DeWitt will join us in the studio to discuss the new India legislation regarding mobile devices. Then reporter Matthias Arizmendi will let us all know the exciting things to do around the fort if you're having a staycation this spring break. Following that story, reporter Justin Estrada will bring us the story of Xander Tuttle and his experience at the Indiana Key Club District Leadership Convention. And to let us know what kind of weather we can expect for our break is Hunter Wise. All this and more today on HHS In Depth. Hello, Spartans, and welcome to HHS In Depth. I'm Emily Adams.
And I'm Mara Nicholson. And Emily, it looks so nice out there, especially as we're getting closer to spring break.
I know, I'm really enjoying some of this warmth. I've been really wanting to see the sun and get some vitamin D. I'm hoping it sticks around.
Well, weather reporter Hunter Wise comes in now to tell us if these temperatures will continue.
Unfortunately, guys, the weather's not looking that great leaving school, with the highs being in the low 50s and with winds being around 10 to 15 miles an hour. The sun won't help too much. For those staying in the fort, though, it will warm up just a little bit, and I will be back in the studio later to tell you more about it. Mara, Emily, back to you.
Thanks for the update, Hunter. Although those weather conditions aren't great, hopefully it gets better later in the week.
I hope so, too. Hunter will be back later in the show to let us know what next week's weather will look like.
HHS In Depth, National News.
As we know, the election cycle can be tiring, and many feel like they only have two options. Coincidentally, they are the same options we had in 2020. Some rebels often result in writing in the phrase, literally anybody else, as a write-in option. Well, now you actually have that choice, as a Texas history teacher has legally changed his name to literally anybody else and has entered into the presidential election. Although some may vote for him for fun and others unknowingly, he actually has many appealing qualifications, like being into education. He is educated in U.S. history. He is of legal age. He is a U.S. veteran, and he is overall a well-hearted, down-to-earth, regular American patriot. Vote for him if you want literally anybody else running our country. Recently, on all social platforms, the information about well-known Nickelodeon director Dan Schneider was released, stating that he was verbally assaulting and sexually assaulting young underage cast members on his early 2000s hit TV shows, some of which include iCarly, Drake and Josh, and Victorious. A recently released Paramount Plus TV show called Quiet on Set is aimed at uncovering the full story and encourages and supports actors that choose to speak out about Schneider's inappropriate actions.
Thanks, Mara, for the update. Hey, Mara, have you completed your Eclipse module yet?
I have completed my Eclipse module, and I'm excited for this stellar event. Reporter Ryan Weidler joins us now to tell us more about it.
I'm here at Indiana's largest planetarium at Ball State University, where they are preparing for this year's upcoming total solar eclipse.
The upcoming eclipse on April 8th is more interesting in some ways than the 2017 eclipse, especially for us here in Muncie, because we're actually in the path of totality. It is where you can actually see the total solar eclipse, because not everyone in the United States can see this event.
This is the first total solar eclipse that Muncie will be hosting in over 1,000 years due to a solar eclipse's precise conditions.
So a solar eclipse happens when the moon blocks the sun from our sky. There's a partial solar eclipse, an annular solar eclipse, and then a total solar eclipse. And the total one is what people travel thousands of miles for.
Although this event is exciting, there are safety precautions needed when viewing.
To see a solar eclipse safely, you need solar eclipse glasses to see any of the partial phases of the solar eclipse. And then when you cannot see any bit of the eclipse sun through them anymore, you can actually take them off for the brief 3.5 minutes or so. As soon as you start to see any bright light again, peeking out behind the moon, you want to look away immediately and then use your safety glasses again to see it.
Ball State's Charles W. Brown Planetarium is also getting ready for the eclipse.
We have free programs all year round, but we are ramping up all of our events, getting people excited for the solar eclipse. We have special eclipse programming. We have special solar telescopes, like one of the ones behind me, and the other telescope back here, we can actually put a filter on and see the sun safely with it.
Making the drive to the path of totality is something students should heavily consider.
You don't want to regret not seeing it. Definitely take the moment, take the time and see it. Really try to see totality. That is that special moment. People who only think they've seen a total solar eclipse probably haven't. And that's what people will say. If you think you've only seen a total solar eclipse, you haven't, because it is such a life-changing event. And I think that you have to see it to understand that.
Do not miss this event, as the next time Indiana residents have a chance at a total solar eclipse is in 2099. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Ryan Weidler.
Thanks for the story, Ryan. Stick around. We'll be back shortly with more HHS In Depth.
Back to HHS In Depth.
Prom will be held on Saturday, May 4th. If you wish to bring a guest who is not a current student at Homestead, you must complete a dance guest request form. Please plan ahead. This form requires the signature of your guest, parents, and school administrator. The deadline to turn in the completed form is Friday, April 26th at 3 p.m. There are absolutely no exceptions to this cutoff time. No faxes or late copies will be accepted. Forms are available on the Homestead website and in the discipline office.
If you have not yet purchased this year's yearbook, be sure to do so soon. The price of the yearbook will be increasing shortly after we return from spring break. You can purchase one at the QR code shown in the graphic. Also, if your parents are interested in taking out an ad in the yearbook, have them go to the same link.
Homestead has been given permission to hire juniors and seniors to work after school, helping our maintenance team by cleaning the floors and stairways each day after school. Hours are 3 to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday, and the pay is $17.62 per hour. If interested, students should go to the SACS website to apply or scan the QR code shown in the graphic, and be sure to apply for the part-time position.
Attention all cheerleaders. Any student interested in trying out for cheerleading for the fall football season next year will need to attend a parent and student athlete meeting at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, April 9th in the Homestead cafeteria. Please enter through door 1, and if you have any questions, contact Coach Sunderland at the email address shown here.
Have you ever wanted to visit Greece? You're in luck, as Homestead students will be going there soon. There will be an informational meeting for you and your parents on Thursday, April 18th at 6 p.m. in the gray box. Sign up using the QR code shown here and contact Miss B at the email address shown below for more information.
Seniors, scholarship season is in full swing, and there are numerous scholarships with deadlines in March and April. Do not miss the opportunity to apply. Further details are listed online at the HHS scholarships page.
Congratulations to the Homestead Robotics team, Olympus Robotics, as they made semifinals at Plainfield's district event last weekend. They also won the Gracious Professionalism Award. Winning this award, the judges said they exemplified the core values of FIRST Robotics, discovery, innovation, impact, teamwork, and inclusion. After this competition, the team is looking at a possible run at the state competition, being ranked 21st out of 72 teams in Indiana.
Homestead Color Guard clinics start on Mondays once we return from spring break. They'll be from 3:30 to 5 p.m. in the band room. Stay after school or enter through door 38. These clinics require no experience and will help teach you dance and flag basics before the fall Color Guard auditions, which are May 6th through May 9th.
There are many volunteer opportunities around Fort Wayne, but if you ever have been interested in construction or just lending a helping hand, here's Senior Edie Laurie to tell you all about Habitat for Humanity and how you can help bring a change to our community.
Habitat for Humanity is a nonprofit organization that works to provide affordable housing in low-income neighborhoods. I believe that students should volunteer for Habitat for Humanity because it's a great way to get involved within your community, and I think a lot of times people take things for granted, like, for example, a roof over your head. Some people don't have access to that. This event will be taking place on May 11th. The first shift starts at 9 and it ends at 2:30. There will be 4 shifts, each an hour long. Throughout the 4 hours of volunteering, we are going to be framing the walls of a house. So this involves cutting and measuring different pieces of wood, as well as using hammer and nails to put these in place. You do have to be at least 16 to volunteer because we are going to be using different construction tools. And if you're 18, you are able to use power tools. Using this QR code, you can access the minor waiver form where you can fill out and get parent permission to volunteer, as well as the Sign Up Genius link where you can sign up for your desired shift.
Thanks, Edie. What a great way to help out the community. Okay, Mara, I know we've been talking about spring a lot, but I am so excited for summer.
I could not agree more. I miss swimming in pools, getting sunburned, and especially binge watching TV shows instead of doing my homework. I cannot explain how excited I am for the Summer I Turned Pretty Season 3 coming out soon.
Me too. I love Jeremiah.
Okay, you are so wrong. It hurts my soul. Conrad is my ride or die.
Well, clearly we won't agree, but maybe someone can break the tiebreaker. Graham, you should be the tiebreaker.
I agree. Choose one.
Well, actually I can't, Mara, because you have your phone out, and that's not only a violation of school policy, but also a new Indiana law. As we all know, Homestead and other SAC schools have the policy that we are not allowed to use our phones or other personal devices unless given permission. Not every school district has a rule like that, though, but that will change very soon, as Indiana has a new law requiring all schools in the state to make one. This law, known as Act 185, bans what it describes as any portable wireless device. It was signed by Governor Eric Holcomb on March 11th and will go into effect for next school year. There are a few exceptions to this rule, though, those being if teachers allow them for educational purposes, there's an agreement for a student to have one, whether it be for a medical reason, or it's a part of their individualized education program, or in the event of an emergency. The purpose of this law is to ensure that students are able to stay on task without the distraction of a device. However, it does not specify what measures to take and let schools decide for themselves. Some are even going as far as to having students give up their phones at the beginning of the day and getting them back when the day ends. However, the rule we currently have falls within the law's guidelines and likely won't be affected. While this law may not change the policy Homestead already has, it serves as a splendid reminder not to use our phones or other devices during class unless we have permission to do so.
Thank you, Graham. We'll make sure to put our phones away for the rest of the day. For spring break, I'm going to be staying around the fort, but I have no idea what I'm going to do with all of that free time.
Well, actually, Matthias Arizmendi comes to us now with a solution for you and others about things you can do around town while your friends are off in Florida.
If you're like me and not going anywhere for spring break, you may feel like there's nothing to do in Fort Wayne. But don't worry, here's a list of many possible things that you could take part in.
To start off, you can try out many places you may not have eaten at before. I recommend taking a trip to Electric Works. There are dozens of places to eat there, including the Johnny Ox Pizzeria. If you're looking for a museum experience, you could visit Science Central, the Botanical Conservatory, or perhaps the Museum of Art. If you're looking for something free or maybe just want to get outside, you could walk or bike the trails downtown, or take a stroll down many of the parks located around the city. The Fort Wayne Zoo is open on Friday and Saturdays and is only $12. Something I personally like to do is go a couple laps at Fast Track Racing, but if that's not your style, you could book your experience at Locked Up Escape Rooms. There are currently 7 different rooms you could try to escape. Try to get out as much as you can and make the most of your spring break. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Matthias Arizmendi.
Thank you, Matthias. We'll be back with more on HHS In Depth right after this.
Welcome back to HHS In Depth.
Welcome back to HHS In Depth.
It has been 20 years since a Homestead student attended the Indiana Key Club District Leadership Convention meeting.
Really? That's a really long time.
Reporter Justin Estrada is in now to bring us a story all about Xander Tuttle's experience in his recent role as a lieutenant governor.
20 years ago, the first Homestead student attended the Key Club District Leadership Convention. Since then, they have been the only one to go to this event. Until now, Xander Tuttle recently attended this event, becoming a lieutenant governor.
A lieutenant governor is a district communicator. So they communicate with Key Club Indiana to then bring that back to their division to make sure that all of the clubs in their region are informed on what is going on at the district level. So as lieutenant governor, I will hold meetings with all of the clubs in my division where I will communicate new information, we will do trainings, and also conduct service projects just as a district.
Key Club lieutenant governors have a lot of jobs to take care of. For Xander in particular, these can be more daunting than other leaders due to his lack of mentorship.
I was very nervous because our standing within the Indiana district was very low, as for like 20-ish years we never had a lieutenant governor in our division. So it was just a great way to kind of get our name back out there and to get us some more information on the Indiana district.
As lieutenant governor, Xander has a lot of responsibilities around Key Club as a whole.
As lieutenant governor, I will talk to all of the schools in our district to try to work on club reactivation and club chartering. So starting new clubs in the Cardinal Division, and also talking to the officers of each of the clubs to make sure that they understand what's going on at the district level, what's going on at the division level, and how they can grow their club, grow membership, and make sure that they are giving back to their community as best as possible.
It's safe to say that being the Key Club's lieutenant governor is no easy task. As time moves on, Key Club will continue to improve in hopes of sending more Homestead representatives in the future. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Justin Estrada.
Thank you, Justin. I'm really enjoying seeing some month-accurate weather for once in Indiana's history.
I know it's finally starting to feel like spring, but we have to watch out for those upcoming April showers.
Well, at least those will bring some Mayflowers.
Thank goodness April is still 3 days away. I want to soak up the last bits of sun, even if it's just for a few more days. In the studio now is Hunter Wise with your upcoming break's weather.
Thank you, Emily and Mara. Once again, today will be a high of 52 degrees and there's going to be a decent breeze. Tomorrow is the first day of spring break, and whether you are leaving later in the day or staying in the fort, it'll be a nice 58 degrees and partly cloudy skies, and good news, no rain. However, that does change a bit going into the weekend, with Saturday having light rain in the morning and it warms up to 61 degrees. Sunday is a little colder with a high of 58. Moving now into the weekdays, the rain is back and now with thunderstorms. The rain continues with a cold front into Tuesday morning and the cold stays till Wednesday. It warms up slightly Thursday to a wonderful 53 degrees. Looking even further, Friday takes a decent jump with a high of 59 and a low of 40. I did a little looking around, and I'm happy to say with most spring break travelers going to Florida, the weather looks great, and I'm a little jealous because I'm going to Washington, D.C., and the weather is subpar at best. That'll do it for weather. Have a wonderful spring break, Homestead. Mara, Emily, back to you.
Thank you, Hunter. I'm glad to see we're starting to see more sun on the horizon.
That'll do it for today's episode of HHS In Depth. Thank you all for watching today.
Make sure to check out our socials for updates on the HHS ID team and our upcoming projects, especially as we begin posting our seniors.
Have a wonderful spring break, Homestead.